Hello there. This is the second part of my road to Belfast series. At the midway point of the training thing. Everything's going alright. Fitness is improving. Parkrun times are improving. Issues I've had. It's the long runs on a Sunday. It's finding something to do on this run, or a route where I'm not going to be bored shitless, if I'm honest. And I was kind of thinking about it the other day, and like when Freddie did his 22-kilometre runs in 22 days, and there must have been times where he was doing the same route a few times, but I just can't, if I'm honest. That's such a long run. Well, relatively speaking anyway. It's a long run to just be doing. I need to be stimulated mentally anyway, otherwise I just get bored. Other issue I've had has been basically last week. Just had to have the week of running. Week before that it was a really tough week. It was quite a stressful week at work. Nobody's fault, it's just one of them things. The few days I managed to get off that week, I ended up having to sort my dad's housing situation out, which was quite stressful too. It just seemed like there was one thing after another. And last week I was just spent, like mentally, physically, everything on my body was just saying, nah, you need a week off. I mean, I'm paying the price right now, because it's the first week I've done the run. Not even a mile in, I'm blown a bit. I had to build a base for my shed in the garden the other day as well. And my hamstrings have not liked that, so that's a bit tight. So today's plan was meant to be a bit of a more of a pacey session. But in part due to my hamstring and just time restrictions, if I'm honest. I've got to get back and get to work. I had the dog out for a walk and stuff this morning. It's just not going to happen, because I've got the Wild Day half marathon at the weekend in Alnwick, so I'm kind of just trying to ease my legs back into this a bit. I'll still do all the runs I need to do this week, but I just need that bit more of an easement in place regarding my legs and just getting used to running again. It is mental how much a week off makes. Like week before this, wasn't exactly flying, but felt so much fitter. Not this week. This week feels like I'm doing week one of the couch to 5k. It's not great, but get used to it. Well, yeah, I did want to talk about mental and physical fatigue and stuff, and training plans, and you basically have arguments with yourself all week, watch it again, it's just exhausting. Where you're like, well, no, because you still need to do this, and the run will help with any kind of mental help. It eases things off, but normally I would do that, but everything in my body was just saying no. We need to not be doing anything. We need to spend time with my family, especially the weekend where I would normally do my long run. It was just, no, I need to just spend time getting cuddles and feeling sorry for myself a bit. And it seems to have helped, so that's good. Work is still stressful, but that's just work. I do like my job, you see, so I know there'll be some people saying, well, you should leave your job, but I like my job. I like the people I work with as well. That's a bit of a rarity. Just sometimes as I'm sure many of you are in the same situation, the expectations are a bit high, given the time restraints and resources available. But we still do it. because I was going to say we love it, but no, mostly just for the money. I do like money. I also had to I was filling an application the weekend so I could go to the next grade up. That's the plan anyway. I'll see how that comes back. Like, it was far from a perfect application, so hopefully enough to get to interview, because I think I'll be better at interview than I am at written applications. There's a lot of written applications have got nothing to do with your skill set and seem more to do with buzzwords and talking shit. But thanks to AI, I had enough there to just throw some random buzzword shit in there. Obviously, as you probably noticed, I'm not the kind of guy who does management talk. I'm somebody that just is quite direct, doesn't always come across well in applications, which is like, what would you do in this situation? I tell them to fucking suck it up and do the job. That's what they get paid for. Doesn't sound well when they're big on empathy and being nice. Wouldn't do that, by the way. I'm a lovely manager most of the time, unless someone's taking the piss, then I'm not so nice. Well, I got this one today. Have a run on Thursday. I think we're gonna have a run to work. I think it's 12k run that is. See how my leg feels after this one. Might shorten that down a bit to 10k maybe. Then on Saturday I have a decision to make. Do I go to park run, or do I do the 22 social? 22 social is on down walk. I've got some people I know there, some people I'm friends with. But I also want to continue my tourist streak and knock them off as well. So because I'm doing different tourist things, like I need to go to Teesside, which means I wouldn't get back in time for their run. And I don't really want to do 5k back-to-backs the day before a half marathon as well. And obviously Sunday, Mother's Day, taking my lovely wife to Alnwick with the kids and the dog, so they can keep themselves entertained for 3 hours while I run around what is. I was watching it, I put a video of that run the other day and it looks solid, like, I'm not gonna lie. But yes, and then plan is to take it for dinner. I need to be somewhere dog friendly, of course. But yeah, that's this week planned. Let's see, we are at the halfway point of the training session. It's going well, but ultimately I'm not going to know until I'm finished. And in Belfast, I see, there's been times where like I've been feeling really strong when I'm running, and I'm able to kind of put that little bit of pace in, but not just put the pace in, but kind of continue the pace. So that's been good. That's why I just don't want to mess it up now. Got that got that pain in my hamstring, so I don't want to push it too much and then scupper everything, because normally what I'd be doing, sorry, I got a bit of a bunged up nose. Normally what I'd be doing around about this time is I would be tapering a bit for half marathon, but half marathon really is just my Sunday long run. And if I'm honest, just given what the route is like, I think that will be an easy run. Like easy pace, that is, not an easy run. That looks fucking awful and difficult. Congratulations to everybody I know that watches. I did the King of Northumberland Ultra the other day. Did do it last year. I know some people did it as a special ultra as well, and it is a lovely one. It's another wild deer one. Probably a couple of people filmed that, so you'll be able to see it. I don't think many people filmed that last year. I think those two runners might have done it a bit, but I didn't even have a GoPro at that point. Not that it would have been a very good video, or it must have just been me being very tired, complaining about how much my toes hurt because I'd lost a toenail midway through. But don't let that put you off. That was more my fault. Didn't prep everything quite as I should have done. But next year, keen over Northumberland Ultra, do it. Lovely little run. The views are stunning as well. Last year, the first 10 miles of it you couldn't see because it was foggy, but after that it was lovely. This year it seemed to have been clear the whole time. Anyway, I'll catch you later in the week for my other what's the word I'm looking for? I'll just do another update from one of the other runs I'm doing. I'm thinking if I do park run, flat lane, because it's one of the only two that I've not done locally. However, downside of that being, it is very hilly, and I'm kind of thinking it's one of the ones I want to tick off. But do I really want to be climbing up some massive hills the day before? Oh, that's spot everywhere. The day before I have an ultra that involves climbing loads of hills. So I could think of it as hill training, or I could try and find an easy one, or do the social 22. Probably decide on the day, if I'm honest. Hello, welcome to the second part of my road to Belfast, the second day, and actually the second take, because I started filming back there and then realised there was a school around the corner. Didn't want to be filming outside of the school, didn't want to have to make excuses about going to Pizza Express and whatnot, so thought best avoid that side of stuff. So the wind is blowing directly in my face today, so it's just like every time you breathe in. So if this is a little breathier, if that's the word, than normal, that's the reason why. So it's the second day this week at the halfway the plan, so said I would do a midway point of the training plan. It is meant to be 12k, but I think time wise, because I am on the way to work, I might have to cut that short to 10k. But by the time I get around to then, you never know, I might find I have the time. Right, so what can we chat about today? So I think I am a relatively experienced long distance runner. Done marathons, done ultras, and done countless half marathons. So although I'm by no means pro level, certainly experienced enough. So I'll give you some tips if you're watching this because it's your first one. So basically, my main thing is you are at the centre of the run. Don't worry about what other people are doing, how other people are training. I mean, if you can pick up some handy tips, that's always good, but ultimately you have to think of yourself as the central character. It's about what your body can do, what your mind's, well, where your mind's at, and your capability levels. If you're ever in the area, you should come down with the kids. If you're ever in a situation where you haven't trained enough, you have to treat that as a learning curve. Get up again, do more training for next time. Upskill that. If your body starts stinking, maybe you're training a bit too hard, a bit too much, don't stop the training, but maybe it's time just to ease up a little bit. And there's an element of personal responsibility in all of this. If you run knowing you're injured, you're going to get more injured. I found that out last year. If you don't fuel properly, again, it's down to you. If you're unsure how to fuel properly, then if you're training for a marathon like me, generally speaking, fluffy pig, generally speaking, you should be doing long runs on a Sunday at this part of your training, or a different day, depends. That's where you trial with your fuel. If you think you're not getting enough fuel, try different stuff. it's an individual thing. What works for some might not work for others, but I would say look to science. There was the Edinburgh Marathon. There was a lady whose YouTube video I watched, and she was basically gave a very useful tip. Said because that one starts quite later in the day, by the time she was about midway, and if she ran a similar pace to me, she got really hungry. So what she did was pack a little sandwich, put it in a little bag, and then ate it. And I thought, oh, I don't think I'll be doing that. But I did Edinburgh Marathon. I did it. Just little Warburton's thins, a little bit of ham, a little bit of pickle. Nothing mad. Wasn't too big. And just ran with that. And she was right about midway. I was feeling very hungry. Let's get it. We're just the time of day you start, and you get up so early, you got to get there and things like that. And I shamelessly ate that sandwich, and honestly, perked me up no end. So if that works for you, I'll do that. If you're going to do a marathon, have a look at the time that the marathon is. Have an idea of how long you normally take. Cater it for you, is what I'm saying ultimately. If you want to listen to music, you listen to music. You'll hear all kinds of outside influences about whether you should or shouldn't be listening. Obviously, if the race rules are you can only have open ear things, then you got to adhere to that. But generally, if getting some music in your lugs gets you through a few miles when you need it, you do what you need to do. Some people, especially things like the Great Northern and parts of Edinburgh, they prefer not having the music on because they enjoy the crowd. I know Al Pepper recently posted something about how he never listens to music, but he's a lot chattier than I am, so I imagine that's got something to do with it. Generally, if I'm running, unless I'm talking to you, or if I'm running with a few people like Alan Wayne and Freddie and Scott and all them, like, I'll generally just keep myself to myself. I'm not the most sociable. But again, it is very much case you do you. And don't be put off when you do things like long runs and you manage it alright, and then you'll do a short run on afterwards, and then you do shit. Done that loads of times. I've done like 15-16 mile runs one day without any issue, and then struggled just to do a 5k a week later. It happens. It's all to do with your day. Just unfortunately there with the training side of it, like, my only advice that was train. If you're short on time, you're gonna have to prioritise. I mean, ultimately some people just will not be able to, but you know, like, I'm quite busy, especially trying to do the whole work-life balance thing, so long runs have become quite difficult. Some of the long runs I've been doing, I mean, like, I'll run to my dad's, who lives about 10 miles away, and like, you know, for longer I'll have a bit of a detour, and I'll get Kirsty and the kids to meet me there. You just have to make the best of the time you got. Like today, running to work only takes a little bit longer than actually travelling in, so it's not too bad. But then again, this morning I've gotten away, ended up leaving the house half an hour later than I expected. It happens. Ultimately, take care of you, do what you need to do, react to what your body's telling you. But alright, just to totally contradict that, if you do have a running plan, try your best to stick to it. And this bit will freak some of the OCD people out, but sometimes you need to adapt those plans. You might need to change days, you might need to tweak distances. You just need to be adaptable and proactive with it. Anyway, I'm now cracking on down here. I'll see you later in the week. Next run, in theory, it's either the social 22 or park run. Still haven't decided which one I'm going to do. Then I've got the I'm hoping you can even hear any of this, if I'm honest. I've got the Belfast Marathon, and that'll be my Sunday long run. So you're just staring at me chin now. I ain't got it true at all. Oh, proper scruffy bastard today. Right, anyway, speak to you later in the week. Park run today, Token Town County Park Run. Beautiful place. Helped by delightful light. Anyway, that's all you get for us today. Because I'm doing another video for park run videos. So toodaloo. So, this is my Sunday run. It's a trail run, Hannah Castle by Wild Deer. It's a half marathon, and it is brutal. Plenty hill training, I would say. Oh, just catching my breath for a previous one, despite the fact that it was so bad I had to walk up it. But this is my easy Sunday run, so I'm trying to take it easy, but unfortunately the route is changing that by being a bitch. So basically everything to do with Belfast, the training plan, it's going well. See, at the midway point, finished the half marathon today, don't feel too bad. Got one blister on my toe, so kind of like I think I identified where that's come from. Learned a few lessons in regards to fueling. Yeah, all going in the right direction. And we've just now got to up those Sunday runs now, and then once they're done, I'll just take over the world and everything will be fine. But yeah, I think I'm week 8. I think it said on the little sheet of paper I got. Which is not actually midway; it's a little bit after. But as I was saying earlier, I did have last week off, which is when it really should have been done. I think I've got, yes, so it's May Day, the start of May weekend. That's kind of when we're going. Yeah. I'll keep on doing what I'm doing. We'll see what difference it makes. We'll see if co-pilot was the sorry, the dog's just sitting next to us. Hey, alright? Alright? Yeah. Right, so yeah, see if everything that co-pilot did works. Time will tell. Anyway, catch you later.